warm welcome to Diski Talk with Luyolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I do ask that you please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you've been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this episode. So, on today's special episode, I'm joined by one of the greatest South African coaches of all time, and he goes by the name of Gavin. Coach, how are you doing?
How you doing, my man? Nice to be here.
I'm well. Coach, thank you very much for coming through, and I truly appreciate this. I really appreciate it. Because this is actually my first interview with a coach. And with all due respect to other coaches, one would think that one's first interview would be with maybe an upcoming coach. But here I sit with one of the greatest of all time. So it is usually said a penny for your thoughts, but I've got 90 Rand here.
Yo,
because
you're 10 Rand short.
Yeah, we're 10 Rand short. But 90 Rand was your first salary in football.
How did you know that? You're quite right. 1981.
So, 1981. So 90 Rand was your first salary within football. However, prior to the 90 Rand, as a young boy then, growing up in Western Cape, what were some of the things that shaped your character and your personality?
I think the players that I came into the team with when they were there. I think what doesn't happen enough in these days is characters like that. And the teams that are successful will have good leadership character players. Yeah. And I came into a dressing room full of experienced players who played in big leagues overseas, players who are top players in this country. Yeah. And as a 17-year-old coming into that dressing room, wow, did I learn a lot. Yeah. And every day was a learning process for me, and that's what it was about. Yeah,
but prior to that, there was an opportunity in England, Bolton.
Yes.
However, that did not manifest because you felt that you would one day have to go to the army. What did you feel about that missed opportunity and not getting that chance?
It's not as it, back then in the 70s, it's not like it is today. Obviously with apartheid and the government and that, as a white South African, we were forced to go to the army for 2 years. So I was 15 at the time, and George Mulhall, who was the scout of Bolton Wanderers, came and watched me play as a kid. And he liked me, and they wanted to take me over there. But then my mother, you know the story.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a norm in those days. Mm-hmm. And then I was told, if you can go, when you come back one day, you're going to have to do your army service.
Yeah.
So that's the mentality we had. Everybody was panicking about in those days. So it was very difficult as a white South African, if you want to call it in the football term, because the opportunities were there, but obviously there was other obstacles in the way, out of our control. So it was a little bit sad because opportunity was missed, I thought, and it would have been a great opportunity for me, but those things happen.
And then developing then and growing up within the setup at Hellenic. And what were then some of the things that you learned in your time? Because when I then have had my research and have had previous conversations with you off air, you did then mention how you have played various positions. Yeah. At some point, you even scored a famous hat-trick, but you settled as a fullback. So what was that like in those times?
Well, in those times, you generally had a squad of maybe 15 players.
Yeah.
And you got jerseys 1 to 11. Yeah. So when you came in the dressing room and the coach said, "You're playing number 3," okay, you play number 3, or you play number 6.
Yeah.
I was growing up as a kid. I was a central defender.
Yeah.
Technically, my strength was passing. I could pass it long, short. So as in the junior football, I was, could pass it,
Yeah.
But I never grew. In those days, they wanted bigger, taller central defenders, and I wasn't tall. Even though I wasn't bad in the air, but I was never going to be that tall. Yeah. So when I came into the first team, they signed me. They just stuck me at the fullback, because obviously that was the obvious choice, and I wasn't really a fullback.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy playing there because it was, your range of passing is generally in one area.
Yeah.
You're not going to get in both sides, and you can't bring the ball out much. So I was put there and ended up playing in midfield and wide, and that's what happened. I mean, as I said, I scored 2 goals against Kaizer Chiefs as left wing. Yeah. And I'd never played left wing in my life, but that day we had to play, and you end up playing, and that was it. Yeah. So it was, and you learnt about the game and you understood the game a bit better.
Yeah.
And I think nowadays the squads are 30. There's too many players.
Yeah.
Far too many players now. And I think it's like the English Premier League. You have 25 players, and they play over 60 games a year if you're a top side.
Yeah.
In South Africa, we play 30 games, and the squads are 40 players.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, there's too much football. It's not. We play far too little football. The squads are far too big.
Yeah, and in that time, then when you're obviously then learning about different positions, does that then strengthen how you understand the game, and then obviously propel you then into the transition of becoming a coach?
Yeah, well, I think it gives you a good ground understanding, because in every position there's certain characteristics that need to happen with the ball and without the ball.
Yeah,
that'll never change. From in 100 years' time, it's going to be the same.
Yeah.
So that's what you, and so when you're playing and there's a small squad and you have an injury, or those days we only had one sub or two subs. I think it was just we went to two subs. So you had two substitutions. So generally you got to move from fullback to left wing or right wing, or coming to centre midfield.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And you understood the dynamics of that position.
Yeah.
Because I was never a striker. I'm never going to play up front. But I mean, I understood the dynamics. What's needed when we don't have the ball and when we have the ball.
Yeah.
So it's pretty basic.
Yeah. So take me then through the transition. You pick up the injury, and what is going on in your mind then? Are you then considering maybe looking to recover, or is it one of those injuries then that declare that you can't play any longer?
Yeah, that's a problem.
And what then happens with regards to the decision making, with regards to you going into coaching?
So when I was playing, before I got injured,
Yeah.
a friend of mine who was a school teacher, and he was he was the manager of the provincial under 18 schoolboy team. And he said to me, why don't you come and coach? I said, well, actually before that I coached a friend of mine who was needed a coach in the afternoons, coaching under 10s and under 9s, and I was like, well, I got paid a little bit of money, and you know, those days we had no money, we were only 19. So I did that, and but more seriously it took when I started to coach the national and the provincial under 18 team. He came in and he made me prepare a team for a tournament, and then I did it 2 years in a row, and I ended up the South African under 18 coach for the national team for all the schools, you know. So it was and that's how I sort of got into it. But that was sort of in the background, never thinking about doing it full time. Obviously we all had to work. So even in all the teams those days, everybody worked and then went to training in the evenings. And that's how. But what happened with the game growing so quickly, you know, there was an opportunity to go full time, and that's where. And when I got injured, it was still part time, and I was still working, and obviously I was out for 9 months. I was 32 years old. I struggled. I couldn't walk properly when I came back, and 10 months, 11 months, and I was sitting at Vasco da Gama, and I got offered a job. He said, "We want to coach." I said, "Let me coach while I'm injured." Yeah. Because in those days you never had a contract. You work from season to season.
Oh, okay.
That's how the contract works. So I finished that year, and they never gave me a retaining letter to keep me for the next year. Yeah. So you know, these days these players get injured, they got a 3-year deal, they still get paid. Yeah. We never got paid. So we had to find work. You know, so it wasn't easy. So I took the Vasco job, and that was it. And how was that then? Because you go from having been a player, and you form part and parcel of a squad. Now you're in charge of a squad. I found it quite easy. I found it because when you played for a club like I played for, there were so many leaders in the dressing room. Any one of them could have been coaches. Yeah. I mean, they were big characters. So a lot of the coaching at the beginning stages for me was pretty much based on experience, what I knew. Everybody sort of played very similar, pretty much 4-4-2. All the teams in South Africa through that 70s and 80s period, everybody played the same. So it wasn't. The game was stagnating a little bit, but it was a very simple game to understand. Yeah. So if you were well coached like I was, you worked off your coaching experience. Yeah, because there actually was an interview I read, and you felt that back in your time, the build-up in the game was a lot more methodical, and you felt that the game intelligence back then was a lot better. Well, the biggest problem we have in our game is I think it's not just because we're in South Africa. Yeah. In world, but especially South Africa, is game intelligence. Now people say, what's game intelligence? Game intelligence is understanding when you're receiving the ball in a certain area of the field, be it high up the pitch, low down, middle of the pitch, what to do with it. Yeah. If you get under pressure. What not to do with, what not to do, what risk not to take. So those type of things. I mean, the biggest problem we have in South Africa is taking a throw-in. The players can't take a throw-in in South Africa. Where to throw the ball, how to throw the ball, and you laugh. They can't take a goal. I mean, the free kicks are poor, the corners are poor. So I feel, and you know, there's an old saying in life: the older you get, the better you used to think you were. Because everybody will say, your parents, my day we did it like this, and we were better people, and in football we all say that. But I'm not saying we were better players, but we had better game intelligence, and we grew up with a very basic way of playing and a way that everybody understood. I think today coaches, the modern day coaches, complicate the game. The game is far too complicated, and the game is a simple game. And the dynamics of the game will not change. Then they try different formations and 3 at the back and do this and not playing wingers, and that's good and well. I understand all that. The players are producing different type of players these days. But the game intelligence is lacking.
So from that, then you then obviously were very key then in giving a young Benny McCarthy an opportunity. What then do you see in a young Benny McCarthy, and what excites you about him?
Well, you see, and the biggest thing, people see good players, but you see a will to win. Now people say, oh yeah, every player. No. The players at the top level, there's a lot of them don't have the will to win. They do it because they like everything that goes with the game. The lifestyle, the money, the this and that. But have they got the will to actually want to win the game? And when I saw Benny the first day, I saw a player that had this will to win, besides being exceptionally talented. I mean, his spring, his striking of the ball, his game intelligence. For a young boy at 16, he had no coaching. He just had natural ability. So the first day I saw him, I said, wow, this guy is going to be a superstar. Phoned up the owner of the club. I said, this guy can play in Europe. Oh, you're joking with me, you're talking nonsense, blah blah blah. I said, he'll play in Europe. 9 months later, he was at Ajax Amsterdam. So he went from a second division to, he played 1 game for Cape Town Spurs, or 2 games. He scored a hat-trick against Kaizer Chiefs. You know, so one thing about him, he always had levels. Where some players get to a level and that's their level. They're not going to get any better, or not going to. He always had levels to jump, you know, and natural ability with the will to win.
So what's interesting then about your journey is that you go then from Cape Town to Limpopo to Black Leopards, and for me it's just it's very, very interesting, because when you look at it from a social perspective, Limpopo still to this day is one of those areas then which are predominantly
not Limpopo, Venda. Limpopo and Venda is a bit miles apart.
So Venda is one of those places then which are predominantly black.
Only black.
You know, and no
white people.
So then
few farmers.
So then when Mr. Tidiela gets onto the phone and he rings you up and he wants you then to come and coach his team, what was the conversation like?
Well, I knew David. David used to be the head of our security when Hellenic came to Johannesburg. So he would take us into the townships. Because, I mean, we weren't welcome in the townships, white people. And he used to take us in as our security. So that's how I got to know David. And then obviously the friendship, or I wouldn't say the friendship, just, you know, we went apart. And then I got this phone call after a few years, say, hey, how are you? Chat. And I knew he had a team and they got promoted. And he phoned me up, I'm looking for a coach. 3 weeks to go before the start of the season, by the way. I said, you want to coach now? He said, yeah. And I just got fired from Hellenic, which was a real upset me, you know. It was a real, because it was a club I was from a kid and gave all my life to, and anyway, so I thought, you know what, I packed a bag, I went for a weekend, and I ended up staying a year. You know, it was today, forget about all things you won and, you know, what you achieved and that. I still think that was my, maybe 7 stars was better, but Black Leopards was the greatest achievement, taking a bunch of players that every word I said they took in, and there was great mutual respect. And today, 23 years later, they still phone me, most of those players. And out of all the teams that I've coached, the most players phone me from Black Leopards still today, because of the what we built up, you know.
Because my uncle would often say that he's a very big fan, you know, and he would always say then one of the true tests of a coach is going to one of those remote areas like that and being able then to do a job. So when you go there, if you start complaining, you got no chance. Because there's no infrastructure, there's no fields, there's nothing, and you must remember
6.5, 7 hours away from Johannesburg.
Yeah.
So every time you're playing, you got to get in the bus. So if you're going to complain about how things are done, I went there with a clear picture. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to get the people. We got hold of the players. You know, I molded a team there. Not me, but whatever. Molded a team there in 3 weeks, and we hit the ground running.
Yeah.
We were second at halfway, and I knew we were going to win.
Yeah.
Off because we never had we never had numbers, and we never had enough, to be fair, quality backup.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I understand.
But experience-wise, people say, I would do it again.
Yeah.
I would do it again.
Yeah. I definitely trust that. And then from that point, then you then move to Johannesburg. We then go to Swallows.
Yeah.
Moroka Swallows at that time.
Yeah.
So what was that like? You know, did you then start to feel like I'm starting to progress and I'm making the right moves with regards to your coaching career, or was it one of those moves that you just wanted to challenge yourself in a new?
Well, it was a move that I had to do. Financially, it was so much better. Obviously, I mean, let's just not beat it around the bush.
Yeah.
Financially, it was so much better. You're coming back to Johannesburg. You got facilities. You've got a decent team. I'm not saying. I just, at Leopards at that point in time, I didn't think we could do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have taken a whole rebuild again, but we certainly had, we would have done okay, but I don't know if we could have done the heights we reached.
Yeah.
And then Swallows, obviously, financially was a good offer. Back to Johannesburg. I knew what I was coming to, because at Leopards, I was sort of protected there with David. David looked after me in the media, those type of things.
Yeah.
When you go to Swallows, you're taking on this big animal.
Yeah.
And this animal, I mean, the first time, the weeks I was there, they chased me and put me in the back of the van and hid me under the kit, and because the supporters wanted to kill me.
Yeah.
And then they pushed my wife off the road with a car and so on and so on.
Yeah.
They came to the ground, they want to kill me, and until I challenged one by one, but then they ran away.
Yeah.
You know the story.
Yeah. So when you walk into that dressing room, which were some of the players then that stood out for you, and players you were really looking forward to coaching?
Well, I knew I couldn't coach them, and they knew that they wouldn't last with me.
Yeah.
So you had Junaid Hartleys, you had Naughty McQueeners, you had Bull Seaby, you had Jeffrey Leketo, you had these are big characters.
Yeah.
These are characters that run that Swallows team.
Yeah.
These are characters that are not going to listen to no coach, especially me, who's going to ask for a little bit more in terms of discipline and shape and playing without the ball and pressing and what. So there was a huge rejection. Thank goodness, when I got there at the beginning, a lot of them moved out through going to other clubs, got offers, and it solved a lot of problems. But there was a lot of rejection from the supporters. There was a lot of rejection. They hated me. I lost the first game 5-0 to Pirates, and that's when I got almost necklaced there. And so there's good times. I wore a suit that day. I've never worn a suit again.
Yeah.
After all the muti and stuff got thrown at me. So
they're like, never again. Never again. So what is then your fondest memory then of coaching Moroka Swallows?
Well, the fondest memory is to have a team that was consistent.
Yeah.
I don't think I was there, 5 years, 6 years, I can't remember. But we were never lower than 6th or 7th. We came third, 4th, 5th, and I think 1 year we came 7th. The year we came 7th, we got into 2 cup finals. Yeah. And we lost on the golden goal. Remember, they used to have that rule.
Yeah.
So we were 2-1 up against Cosmos in Durban, the top 8 final, the SA Airways final. Anyway, so it's extra time. The kick-off, 30 seconds, penalty for them. It was 2-2, 3-2, game over. Yeah. So you still got 30 minutes, and we lost the game. Then we beat Manning Rangers in the Absa Cup, which is like the Nedbank Cup, in the final. I think.
So then what happens then when you get the offer from Supersport? Is that a moment in your life where you feel like, because you had just mentioned that you were able to reach 2 cup finals, are you then at a point in your life where you feel like I can start winning trophies and I can start
I won. We won trophies. We won a trophy at Swallows. Yeah. I think in coaching it's about progression and opportunity. Obviously coming together, because opportunities don't always come. Yeah. But your progression might be far outseeing your opportunities. And when Supersport came, I knew there's a club that can win the league. Yeah. Because of the quality of the players there. They were far better. They had far better quality than we had at Swallows. I didn't think I could win the league at Swallows. To be fair, we came joint second we came same points as Silver Stars, and we lost in a goal difference. So we came third.
Yeah.
But I didn't think we could win the league. Maybe it would have taken a bit of time, but I didn't think it. When I saw Supersport, I thought, now we can win the league.
Yeah.
And I told Stan Matthews when the first time he met me, and they came 7th that year, he said, "You're joking." I said, "Oh, we'll win the league with this team."
Yeah.
And he's 1 or 2 things, and we won the league. And the rest is history.
So at Supersport, coach, let's get a bit into the players, because you know you were very successful there.
Yeah,
so what was your strongest 11?
So the first thing I did when I went to, if I can recall, going to Supersport, was to sort the defense to play a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Now that's easier said than done. That means you got to press a bit harder from the front. That means if you press a little bit harder from the front, the ball is going to come along into your defense.
Yeah.
Okay. What does that mean? You need good headers of the ball. There's no good pressing and they lock it long, and you haven't got people that can head the ball.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did was I signed Bongani Kumalo from Tukkies.
Yeah.
And everybody said, "Oh, he's not good enough." I said, "Well, he can't play. He can't play, but he can hit a ball.
Yeah.
And he'll score 6-7 goals a season for me, and he'll defend my box
very well.
Very well. So he's just, there's 3 things every footballer's got to do: score goals, create goals, and stop goals. And if he does that, and he was scoring goals, so we got like him and Morgan and Ricardo Kaizer, all good 3 headers of the ball. We press from the front. Dane, Pelembes, these guys is going to come along into our back.
Okay.
So we need a goalkeeper that's not decent on his feet. We had Dennis Onyango, who was very young.
Yeah.
Great shot stopper, but not good with his feet.
Yeah.
I had Andre Orense still. So I played Andre more the first year when he won it, and the second year, then Andre retired. Okay. And then Dennis sort of came in then,
So in goals, you had?
Andre Orense with Dennis is number 2 there.
Right back?
There was a few right backs.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say it was a problem area for us, but it was an area that I always felt we need a defensive right back. I don't like attacking fullbacks. I think it's an overrated position, because every time they run 80 meters, they get down the field and they cross it in the stands half the time.
Yeah.
So rather just keep them as a right back, get a winger in front of them. I would say that the good right backs we had was Davis Nakasu. We had Thabo September, who was a mid. Thabo September, I'll never forget. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
No problem.
We played 3 games against Pirates: Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. Double header in the semi-final of the cup, and a league game in the middle. Thabo September played right back, centre back, and centre midfield in 3 games. Man of the match. So he was invaluable. He was a brilliant. I thought he was a good right back for us. So Thabo September, Davis Nakasu, good right backs for me.
Okay, so you have to pick one, coach.
Davis was quick. Thabo was intelligent, and Thabo wouldn't give you overlapping. Davis not too much as well, but I would say Thabo.
Thabo.
Sorry, Davis.
It's fine.
Kill me.
Then your 2 centre backs?
Well, obviously Ricardo Kaizer was the number 1 when I got there.
Yeah.
But I think Bongani and Morgan formed the better combination.
Yeah.
With Thabo sometimes coming in to centre back, then Davis would come in and right back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think Bongani, and because of where they did and what they did, Bongani going to Spurs, Morgan was, great. He was a real competitor,
And then your left back?
Well, there's a few. Chechimoa we had, David Kanemayer we had, who were, real good, solid left back. Tebogo Langeman I had, who was a left winger. I converted him to left back, and then he had a great career at Sundowns. I wonder who converted him. He doesn't. Tobacco, you should thank me. He doesn't thank me. All of a sudden, he's a great left back. Who made him a left back anyway? So, for me, David Kanemayer, I would say, was very steady for me. David Kanemayer.
And then, with regards to your midfield, what was your approach, and what were you trying to do with your midfield?
So we had 2 shapes that we played. We played 3 in midfield, and we played with a flat double pivot.
Yeah.
I preferred 2 players in midfield.
Yeah.
Because that gives you more attacking options to go the other way. But then you need 2 good solid midfield players. You need 2 good centre backs. You need a goal. So your spine needs to be strong.
Yeah.
If your spine is not strong, it's like people. So why do teams play back 3s? Because I feel they don't trust the centre backs.
Yeah.
Or they got fullbacks who are not really good one-on-one defenders. Or they don't have wingers.
Yeah.
So they go with the 3 centre backs.
Yeah.
Because they don't trust the centre backs to play with the 2. I think if you can't play, that's why I always look for players that can play in a 2 centre backs, or in centre midfield players can play in a 2. Because nowadays, he's a great midfield player, but he can only play in a 3 midfield player.
Yeah.
Or he's a good centre back, but he can only play in a 3 centre back. He needs to play in a 2, because now you're playing man on man. A lot of the time, the 2 strikers are up. The fullbacks are up. There's a counter attack, and you got man against man.
Yeah.
Where teams are, we need some insurance, So, I'm a two-man midfield player.
You're a two-man midfield.
Yeah.
So you're two-man at Supersport, you had?
Jeez, I had quite a few. Here we go. It's a problem because we had quite a lot.
Yeah.
But the ones, Brent Carlson's got to be in there, in centre midfield. Who he pairs up with, Lebo Kokana, Nashamel, Bibo, Marabanya, Lance Davids. Sure, we had a lot of good centre midfield players. Tabo September in there sometimes.
Yeah.
But for me, Brent has got to be one with...
I think I know who you'll pick.
No, if I go Lebo...
I think you'll go Bibo.
Yeah, Bibo, we sold Lebo to Celtic for a lot of money. When people said, "Oh, you're joking? We just won the league." I said, "Well, we got this guy Bibo. He can take over."
Yeah.
I love Bibo, but I think Lebo scored more goals. He had more shots outside the box. So I'd go Lebo and Brent Carlson.
And Brent Carlson.
Yeah.
And then, with regards to your wingers,
Well, Dane, Pelembe. Yeah, there's not even a debate there. I think I had Zongo, I had Anthony Lafort. I had, I would go Dane and Pelembe because they scored goals, created goals, stopped.
Yeah.
These two worked up and down. And what
fantastic.
I could do with Pelembe, I could tuck him inside to play in a three-man midfield.
Yeah.
Then we leave Lafort wide and Glenn Salmon or something.
Yeah, because I remember how.
So we used to go. A lot of this, if we're getting overrun a little bit, then we would go like this. And then your Mobanyas and guys would come in, the doctor and these guys.
Because it's something we'll actually go into a bit further on within the episode, because I remember how then you were able to sort of reinvent him at Bidvest Wits, and how you were able then to Pelembe. How then you were able to...
Well, obviously the legs had gone.
Yeah.
So the legs go. He's not going to go up and down for you anymore.
Yeah.
So we move him inside a little bit and play him as a 10 or something.
Yeah.
Or play him... I didn't like him here. Because he started pressing the ball.
Yeah.
I preferred him to... So when he got to me, he came as number 10. And I put him wide because we lost Tika Mediso right at the beginning. You know? But I preferred him here.
Yeah. So with regards to Supersport, because we do know that they've always had a well-renowned academy system. At that time,
brilliant.
Were there any players that you really, really liked and you felt that they could make the grade?
So Kamagela Makoja was the one there. I didn't have him long enough. He played for me, but he was on the bench. He was 17 at the time. Zongo was first, Bibo first, Kermit Erasmus.
Yeah.
Kermit Erasmus, for me, and I'll tell him to his face, he's the biggest underachiever footballer that I know. With the talent that he's got, I think he lacks the drive and to play football, and he's a quiet, placid boy. But I think technically he's the best finisher I have seen.
Yeah.
But he should have played at the top level. But I think they spoilt him when he was a kid. He didn't train much. Come on the weekend, score hat-trick.
Yeah.
He didn't train much, score hat-trick. And then obviously we had Ronwin. So that team they had Ronwin, Zongo, Kamagelo, Bibo, Kermit, I'm trying to think of some real good players.
Yeah.
The academy was good.
So with regards then, let's have a look at your forward line. Would you go with two strikers? Are you going with one number 10 or second striker?
Well, the best combination that I had was for me. Is Glenn Salmon and Anthony Lafort. Glenn Salmon is the most underrated footballer. He played 10 years in the Dutch league. Played every week.
Yeah.
And he comes to South Africa, he couldn't make a Bafana team. Are you joking with me? And you go to the Olympics, you don't even pick him. He's a joke. That was the biggest injustice of any footballer.
Yeah.
When he started his career, he was a running nine.
Yeah.
So he ran behind. When he came to me, I wouldn't say me, but I tried to change his roles a little bit.
Yeah.
So he's a bit of the battering ram, and he was good in the air, and his first touch was so. When you had I forgot even a player like Jabu Maluleka.
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
Oh.
His ability to play in little pockets. So I would play Jabu on the right or Pelembe, because obviously and then he would come inside. And what used to happen 9 times out of 10, we would end up like this, like Lebo, Carlson, Jabu, and Lafort would obviously go wide, and you'd have Glenn. So we ended up like this.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of goals here, a lot of creativity, strength, work rate, and you had the quality of Glenn. Glenn was the glue.
Yeah.
He was the glue. He was the glue. He was the main man. And I only had him 2-3 years, but he was the main guy.
And off the field then, who was key keeping this dressing room.
Well, we had good characters like Ricardo Kaizer. We had good characters like go from the back. Tabo September, Andre Orense, fantastic.
Yeah. So what was it then about this squad? Because at that period, that was when I was sort of starting to understand football. And for me, I knew that it was difficult to win a league title.
Jesus.
Let alone win it twice and then you go and do it 3 times
with no
in
team.
a row.
With no team. The third league title we had no team. We sold Dane. We brought Lyle Kay from a Old Mutual Academy for 20,000 rand. A kid 17 years old, he's a big star now.
Yeah.
We Dipsy Mashallah. We had nothing up front. We had no players, but we had a good solid mentality. Mentality was good.
Yeah.
But it was always going to drop off after that.
Yeah.
It dropped off a little bit.
Yeah. It did. And then obviously comes that call then from Jose. And
well, Jose left. Jose was with me.
Yeah.
And what happened was, true story, before we won the third league title, Brian Joffe phoned me.
Yeah.
Wants to meet me, wants to sign me as a coach. Name your price. I thought, well, here we go. And then I said to him, he said to me, what do you think about our team? I said, your team is poor.
Yeah.
I said, I've got more chance of winning the league at Supersport again. He said, but you've won it twice. I said, we'll win it again, even though we had no players. And he said to me, yeah, but you got to, he said, and he respected me because I could have named, I could have whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he would have bought me whatever I want. But I said to him, I don't think it's time. And it wasn't. And I stayed another year. And then I went there. When Jose went the year before me.
Yeah. And how was that then? Leaving from, where you were very successful. Because when we now speak of just a human being from a social perspective, human beings are sort of creatures of habit and comfort.
Yeah,
and
very much so.
Yeah, and you had developed a great habit, and you've developed this comfort and this relationship with all of these talented players.
I was very upset with Supersport because they didn't want me to win anymore. Now,
how does that work, Coach?
Well, because, I'm saying this not in a bad way, but it wasn't good for their business. Because they're not going to sell decoders.
Yeah.
And they're not going to sell dishes. They're not going to sell, because people want Chiefs and Pirates and Sundowns to win the league. So with us, this little team, there's little aggravation. So what happened was a lot of the players got sold. And it was a club that we run on a very tight budget, which I always like. But we had to sell players as well. So when you're selling players, like the quality we had, Mashego, Mapelas, this one, that one, I'm going to suffer.
Yeah.
I'm going to suffer.
Yeah.
So in the fourth year, I came seventh. And we struggled, Then the next year, we got to the cup final and we won the cup and the Nedbank and that. But I was going to stay, but obviously financially, very good offer again.
Yeah.
And a good project that wanted to win the league.
Yeah.
Where Supersport, I don't think wanted to win the league anymore. Just what went around in the corridors. Now I might be talking out of place or out of turn, but I didn't get the feeling that they wanted to win it anymore.
Yeah.
It was too much pressure that this team, Little Supersport's, causing too much problems.
Yeah, because I think sometimes as a human being, you can sort of feel the...
You get the feeling.
Yeah.
You go into a meeting, are we selling this one? But he's my best player, but I can't keep... And we couldn't afford them. Because they were getting offers from all the big clubs. And they all basically went off. We sold the whole team off.
Then do you then come to a place of acceptance where you realize that, okay, maybe it's time then I take up that very good offer? Yeah,
then you go to Wits and they say, right, we want to win the league. I said, well, you haven't won the league in 100 years. How are you going to win the league? And so we looked at the team. I said, gee, we need a total rebuild here.
Yeah.
And the first year we came third with a real makeshift team. And then came third again, then came second, and then obviously came first.
Yeah.
But it was a big, I enjoyed it there.
Yeah.
Because obviously it was a little bit closer as well, Johannesburg. I was living in Johannesburg. Facilities of world class, of training pitches, great home match venue, great little club. I used to enjoy playing against Wits when I was a player, playing at Mill Park there, Bidvest Wits, what it was called then, and we had some good players, and it was a great opportunity to build a team there, which we did.
Yeah. So what was the conversation like in the boardroom with regards to the budget you had and how then they were trying to build this?
Well, you never had budget to buy players.
Yeah.
So we're never going to do a Sundowns.
Yeah.
So if the player's worth 2 million, spending 8 million, or if the player's worth 8 million, there's nobody worth 8 million in South Africa, and they're spending what they do now 15 million on the player, which is mind-boggling, and it's distorted the whole marketplace.
Yeah.
It's pushed wages and salaries, which is good for when you're there, but the other guys, they all want to get there anyway. So we're never going to buy players. So what Jose, who's the best CEO for me, he knows the marketplace and he knows how to work, and we look for the free agents, and we bought one or two, but also selling to try and manage the financial burden, so which we did.
Yeah. Also then another club then at that time, which also had quite a very good academy, and obviously had certain young players who were coming through. Which were some of the young players then that caught your eye at that moment? Oh,
there were lots, eh? I need to refresh my memory because, I've had so many players. I mean, you look at this boy, Atin Kosi now.
Yeah.
Atin Kosi just went to the national. He was in France last night.
Yeah.
He was in academy 2 years ago. And now he got a gap at Stellenbosch, and now he's playing there. So he was like the one coming through. Who do we have? Pagamani. But Pagamani, there's an obvious one. I mean, I saw Pagamani play as a winger. Yeah. And Glenn was the coach then at the time of Glenn Salmon of the Diski team. And he said to me, what do you think? I said, well, I don't think he's a winger.
Yeah.
He's quick. And I said, but he's not a winger because he's technically not very good. He doesn't have that
flair.
Yeah, he's not going to play give and goes or little touches or cross the ball.
Yeah.
But if you put him up front, he'll run in behind people, and we get somebody who can play him in.
Yeah.
Well, that's the business. And I played him up front, and we won the league. And he was electric. Yeah. First game against Platinum Stars. So we went to play Platinum Stars there, and Jose, what's the team? I said, well, I'm going to play Pagamani at number 9. He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to play him at number 9. I said, Villa can play him in. If he moves, Villa can slide him in.
Yeah.
Scored a hat-trick. Yeah, and then the rest was history. We sold him to Al Ahly, big money. Big money.
Yeah,
for a club of our size.
Yeah.
Which financed us and helped us,
I remember that. So when you, just sticking to Pagamani Mahlambi there.
But there was a lot of other ones around the place, which came in. I've just lost my memory at the moment.
Yeah. So when you look at Pagamani Mahlambi and you look at the fact that he obviously hasn't kicked on, and you tried then when you were at Chipper United to give him another opportunity. Yeah. How then do you feel about that?
Well, that's not his doing, and I got blamed at Chipper. Yeah. I got blamed. I'm bringing injured players, but he trained. And then the second game, he snaps his Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
I mean, it can happen to anybody. He turns and snaps. He was in no condition when he came to us, so we had to get him fitter, pushed him a little bit. But to get blamed for bringing injured players when the guy got injured in the second game. First game he played, he scored against Orlando Pirates.
Yeah.
And then the second game, obviously, we played Stellenbosch away, and he did his Achilles, and he still hasn't recovered. It's the same injury. It takes 8-9 months,
Yeah, so that's
he's been a big disappointment for me because he should have achieved much more than he achieved.
And I ask about him.
He's 24.
Yeah, because I ask about him because you've obviously then given so many young players an opportunity. Yeah. You've seen so many young players who had so much quality, from the Benny McCarthy's to the Dane Clates, and you've seen all these young players come through. So I would imagine that it is something that obviously bothers you from time to time, because I think that is a player who should have been key to Bafana currently.
Who's it?
Pagamani Mahlambi.
Yeah, if I look at last night's game, okay, the strikers are going to get no service. Yeah, they're not going to get the ball. So you're going to if anything you need is pace.
Yeah.
So we can just get us out, because one ball down the side you're going to get out. But if you don't have too much pace, you're not going to get out. So you either need somebody big and strong that's going to hold it for you.
Yeah.
But we sort of caught him. We're not producing those type of players anymore. Yeah. If you look at South Africa, we don't produce those good number 9s anymore. The old-fashioned type of 9, we're going to hold the ball and play with his back towards goal. But then you need to go the other way and play with a bit more pace and play a little bit more directness. And for me, a fit Pagamani at 24 should be flying now.
Yeah.
But, it doesn't happen for him.
It's been unfortunate.
Yeah.
So. Then, leading up then to the sale of the club, what is going on at the club? Do you have any ideas with regards to the club being sold?
We get a rumor. We get a rumor January, February, before COVID. Nobody knew about COVID.
Yeah,
it was January, February. We got a rumor they want to sell. Okay, but if you're going to sell it the right way. Mm-hmm. Give it, say, end of the year, we're selling, or whatever. Then we go to COVID. So everybody's at home, everybody's doing what we can. We're having a good season again. I'm building another team, because every 3 to 4 years is long, but every 3 years, 4 years, you need to build another team.
Yeah.
Freshness. You can keep a few players, but you need to build and refresh the place.
As you always say, there's a famous saying, and it's a famous line by you: "Never let a team grow old together."
Never. If the team, and I walked into that recently.
Yeah.
The team is old.
Yeah.
So you got no chance. You're not going to. They've had most of those players have had 10 coaches in their life.
Yeah.
Who's this coach going to tell them that, hey, we need to press, we need to work a little bit harder and do this, that, whatever? They're not going to listen. So either that or they must go.
Yeah.
What happens now? They fire the coach and keep the same players.
Yeah.
So you got to. Alex Ferguson, who's the greatest. He kept reviving the team.
Yeah.
He got rid of Ronaldo at the top. He got rid of Beckhams. He got rid of Stam. He got rid of Van Nistelrooy. He got rid of these players were at the top of their games.
Yeah.
People say, "Why are you selling them at the biggest club?" They're not doing it. The day a player loses his desire and hunger on the training ground, and it happens.
Yeah.
They win everything. You win in league titles. The day he's got to go.
Yeah.
And the most important thing with any player is when to sell him or when to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And loyalty, we want loyalty, but there's got to be loyalty. And players, I mean, I had Dane Clayt. I said, Dane, you need to stop. He said, I said, Dane, you're not giving the game the justice and the rewards that it should be given.
Yeah.
You've won so much, most successful player in South Africa, retire. And he fought with me a little bit. Then a year later, he said, "You were right."
Yeah.
I said, "You lost your hunger and desire. I've seen you training. You're not training anymore. The day you don't want to come to training,
you're off
and there's
the
too many
pace.
players in South Africa that go through the motions, get paid well, but are going through the motions.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and you need to move them out.
Yeah. So at that time, then, with regards to the club being sold, what are the conversations which are being had?
So we got told in the bubble, in the COVID, the club is sold. Now, a couple of weeks later or a month later, the league's been put back on.
Yeah.
So we go into this bubble, 5 weeks, 6 weeks in the hotel. So we get everybody in the hotel. I said, right, sit down. This is as we go into the hotel. I sat everybody down. I said, right, who doesn't want to play? If you don't want to play, I didn't say it so nicely.
Yeah.
I said, you can go.
Yeah.
Now, go. And what I did, which I thought was a very good decision, even if I say, I brought about 6 kids in.
Yeah, I remember.
I brought about 6 kids in.
Rowan
So
Human was
I
one.
brought Phillips in, September, Rowan Human, and there was a couple of other ones who didn't play that much.
Yeah.
But they were the 3-4 key ones, and I played them, thinking that we can also put them in the shop window, and thinking they would keep the team, and they were brilliant, and they all got contracts.
Yeah.
So I helped them. They helped me, I helped them, and we helped each other. But I said to the players, anyone who doesn't want to play, rather go. And they could have walked out.
Yeah.
And it was difficult because every one of them were being sold as we were talking. So we would sit in the hotel, they were getting sold.
Yeah.
Pirates took them,
Pirates,
and then we were bidding with Sundowns for Tyson, and it was difficult times.
Yeah.
But to be fair to the players, they gave their all, and credit to them. And I said to them, I always say in life, pay your dues in life, God will reward you. Cheat, and He won't reward you. So when you play football, play properly, and you will get rewarded. You'll get rewarded. It'll something will happen, and they've all gone on to bigger, huge contracts.
Yeah.
They all got big money, and good luck to them. Good luck to them.
So then you obviously then go from that period, and you go now into a period.
Now, I was the only one, no job.
Yeah. That's
So that was
the ironic part.
Everybody
So-
else is getting jobs except me.
Yeah. So you now go into a period of, firstly, the world is at a stage of uncertainty with regards to the COVID, and you also finding yourself.
You don't know if football's going to start again.
Yeah. And you also find yourself at a place of uncertainty, and having then you look at the past 10 years with regards to your career, you always
Longer than 10 years.
with regards to how you were always certain. You had long-term.
I knew what was going. I knew it was coming. I knew which players were selling. I was stable. We were a team that's going to win the league again. Wits would have won the league again. I'm telling you. Sundowns have got it easy that Wits are gone. Because we were the only Chiefs and Pirates are no competition to Sundowns.
No, and I would agree with that, because if you look at that period, you guys were the only ones that were able to challenge them, and you were the only ones then who were able to win the trophy.
We were like that little irritation to them.
Yeah.
And they knew with us, and we were always. Because I think where we did better than anybody, and I say it, the most important thing is the players that you sign.
Yeah.
And I think with the knowledge that we had with Jose and my assistant Paul, who was brilliant, and the goalkeeper and Roy and these guys, we had an eye for a player.
Yeah.
and within our budget constraint. We couldn't. I mean, it's easy to go like Sunday. Oh, let's buy him for 10 million because nobody can else afford him, which they do. And then you can. And then after 6 months, he's not good enough, and they get rid of him, or he just goes and put him on the other field there. So
what's the other field called?
Well, you got the other squad and the other field. Yeah. So they can afford to do that, but I found that they made the success they're having now. Eventually, after all the failures that they had, if you look at the last 15 years, they won the league, yes, but they should win it every year.
Yeah.
But they've had so much failures in players and the coaches, and when they brought Pizzo in, fantastic, because they let him now do his thing and get players, and he moved a lot of players out that were signed willy-nilly, and he got his squad sorted.
As much as you with that Wits squad, you were able to win the league, but a moment that stands out for me was the MTN8 and how you guys won the MTN8 final. And
the football we played.
That performance.
So I'm not a gambling man, but I'm a betting man.
Yeah.
If you want, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we played. That was the start of the season, and the squad we had. I looked at our bench that night, and on the bench was Ben Matsuaris and Vincent Poules and Safiso Banyemi and I'm just trying to names come to me.
Yeah.
And I said, if we don't win the league this year, I must get fired. I said it to my confidants.
Yeah.
And then the night we played 3-0. It was That was football.
Yeah, no, that was a great performance.
Colomalambo can play, and Clanties, and I said to my boss that night, we were all in it afterwards, happy. I said, we'll win the league. We only played 2 games in the league or something.
Yeah.
He said, you're joking. He said, what's our odds? I don't know what the price was. And our boss, to be fair, put 10,000 or 20,000 rand on us, and he made money at the end of the season.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
So it's now past that period, and it's obviously COVID times, and you're sitting at home. What emotions are you feeling, and what's going through your mind with regards to the next step?
Well, I felt at that time that I still today didn't want is to say the big 3 clubs. I didn't want it because I knew I could win there.
Yeah,
and going there, I don't think I'm going to be in charge of my own destination.
You know the funny thing?
So as a coach, I know I'm going to win here.
Yeah.
Because I've got a chairman that's next to me and says, whatever you want, we're going to back you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do this, and we go this way.
Yeah.
The staff, where you go into a club and you're going that way.
Because one thing I've always picked up about you, Coach, is how forthright you are, and I think you're one of the very few individuals who are very genuine. And I could always feel it and sense that you never wanted that, because what you were very good at then was building with regards to those type of projects, and having then an owner who's going to say, you know what, I trust you. This is your team. Do what you want to.
I'll tell you a true story. I could have been the first year or second year at Supersport we won the league.
Yeah.
Patrice Masepi phoned me. I won't tell you the figures, but it was 4 times more than I was earning. 4 times more. You got full control of the club, blah, 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 blah. You can buy wherever you want. I knew I was going to win. The money was, for me, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't take it.
Why didn't you take it, Coach?
Because I knew that I was in a place where I was in charge. And I made decisions. And I felt that I can play the way I want to play, which I know will win.
Yeah.
Because it's all people say, they talk about me. Yeah. Oh, you play long ball philosophy. Well, you can only play to the ability of the players that you've got.
Yeah.
Why try and do something that they can't do? So a coach's philosophy works on. Yes, he's got his philosophy, how he wants the game to play, what he looks for. But you also got to tailor to the players that you've got. Because it's no good me saying, no, we need to play like Barcelona when you can't
pass up the ball.
I mean, to be fair, Bongani and Morgan can't play at the back. I don't want them to touch the ball.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story. I used to go to the goalkeeper and I say to the goalkeeper, don't give the ball to the centre backs.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't give it.
Yeah.
Then I go to the centre backs and tell them, get the ball off the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Then they say, well, he doesn't want to pass to us. They'll have a big fight every week.
Yeah.
And I would just sit there and listen. But I tell the goalkeeper, don't throw the ball to the goalkeepers. Because they can't play. They can hit it, they can tackle, and they can score, and they're good defenders, but don't let them play.
Yeah.
So it's only because if I had ball playing centre backs who can run out of the ball and these guys that can play PKs and but Rio Ferdinands, they can come. No, play with what you got.
Yeah.
So philosophy, it's all very good and well. That's why I get criticised heavily in South African media, style. Style is what you've got.
Yeah.
But my style, we make do with what we got. We've been successful.
Yeah. And also then I think one thing that people aren't cognizant of is you've got a certain way of doing things. You did it, it worked, you won.
No, but that can change with what you've got.
Yeah.
So people don't misunderstand it. I'll do it a certain way. Yes, there's certain non-negotiables.
Yeah.
There's not in football. There's non-negotiables. But there's negotiable with ability. If I say to, because I know I've got him, but if he has 3 touches, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Let him just have 2 touches.
Yeah.
So it'll be curtailed in that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a striker, Fikru Tefera.
Yeah, I remember.
I said to him, if you have 3 touches, you're coming off. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I said, if you have 3 touches, you're coming off. He got the first ball came, he went 1, 2, he controlled it, 3, 4, and then he passed it. Ref, out.
Yeah.
Took him off 5 minutes. Big fight, me and him. I said, you want to play in this team? You play 2 touch. You, number 9. Next week, boom, boom, off, boom, in the box. Boom, boom, off, in the box. Scored.
Yeah.
He comes, he hugs me. No coach never told me. I said, you can't play. You can't play. You are not good enough. But if you play my way, because I knew you'll play in this team.
Yeah.
And we won the league with him.
Yeah. But and I mean it
I'm just giving you,
Yeah, just
it's like a goalkeeper. Everybody wants sweeper keepers now.
Yeah.
Please. Rather give me a goalkeeper that can catch the ball,
Yeah.
and it can come for a cross, and he can save the ball,
Yeah.
and he can kick it into their half.
Yeah.
But now he wants to come play. They can't.
Yeah, and it's always like that, because for me it's like do the basics right, because we've got this huge fascination of ball playing centre backs, and it's all well and good these ball playing centre backs until when it's time to defend, do the basics right.
What's their prime objective? Centre back.
It's to defend.
So why are we trying to make them do things? And what's the prime objective of strikers?
You have to score goals.
And what do we try and make them do? Press and work hard.
Press and play as little number 10s,
Yes,
drop
and
off,
drop in and
yeah,
exactly.
Because essentially then the game boils down to 3 things: it's defending goals, creating goals, and scoring goals.
Why complicate it?
So
yeah.
Yeah, and fine. You were in that period of your life where you felt like throughout your career you felt like you wanted that control.
I wanted to be fair, and I still say today, when Wits ended, I needed to move out. Because if I looked at the opposition teams,
were you ever going to leave Wits? If you guys.
So Wits spoke to me. Wits had because I was there 6 years.
Yeah.
They said to me, "You can't coach for you ever." I said, "Well, then you got the wrong guy."
Yeah.
I mean, then fire me. Oh, we laugh and joke. They said, "We've got a plan for you." Okay. So I said, "Well, I'm not going to stop coaching.
Yeah.
You're going to make me do something. Give me coach the under 10s or something.
Yeah.
Or make me, don't use these terms, technical director, or because I'm going to be in the coach's ear too much. So let me, but we can't keep making new contracts. You know what I'm saying? Money.
Yeah.
I said, well, we get to a ceiling, we'll pan it off.
It's fine.
I'm quite happy with it.
Yeah.
But obviously keep me involved, as long as we can. If it goes belly up, which the results, and you need to fire me, well then, nobody's indispensable as a football coach. But I think I'd earned enough to have a longer period there, which maybe could have gone on 10, 12 years. But certainly there was a plan for me to go into the back room a little bit. Yeah.
But then
I don't think I would have handled that. But when I got to the bridge, we would have got there.
But then that call comes in then from Kaizer.
Bobby.
Bobby.
Yeah.
So
Bobby does all that. Yeah.
So what was that?
Well, because like? This was my initial thing. They came second by 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because if they'd held out the last 15 minutes, they would have won, and they would have won the league.
Yeah.
They came second. So my first reaction was, why are you getting rid of the coach?
Yeah.
Yes. To be fair.
That's very fair.
Why are you getting rid of Ernst? I mean, shouldn't you be keeping? Now, I didn't know the reason why, but they obviously had something was going down with Ernst. They didn't like him, or he didn't like them, or there was something happened there. But I mean, there was a guy, took him to a cup final. Okay, he lost the year before. He improved the team. He brought in some good players. He did a hell of a good job. He came second by 20, call me alive or whatever, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then you fire him. I thought, where does it put me? Imagine me coming third next year.
Yeah.
I'm going to be out here. So already I didn't feel comfortable with the situation.
Yeah.
But then being told what I got told, that you can change the team.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, now's my time.
But coach,
hold on.
Yeah.
So now you come in, I can change the team. I said, right. There wasn't many Wits players left, and there wasn't many players we could get. So I gave them. They said, give us a list of players that you would like. I said, these ones you can get. This is what we need. This is what we don't need. I think blah blah blah. This is what you need to let go. Blah. So it was a whole professional plan that got out somehow. That would. So it was a little bit of dishonesty from wherever.
Somewhere. Yeah. But coach, with regards to the job, was it a job that when you got offered the job, did you really want the job? Or did
it came at a very.
Or do you feel like it was a convenient?
It was sort of say, well, let's go. I don't have anything.
Yeah.
Let's do this. And being told that, because I was watching Chiefs for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
From the outside, they need a change. They need a change.
Yeah.
Not in coaching. They need a change in personnel.
Yeah.
You can't keep. Boss, the players when I got there are still there from when they won the league 7 years ago.
Yeah.
It can't be. I'm not saying they're not good players.
Yeah.
But it's just that the legs are not going to be, the energy is not going to be there, the desire, the this, the that. It can't be right. So you need to change. Jeff Butler, who was one of the most successful coaches at Kaizer Chiefs, he got rid of Teenage Dudler and Exner Tshilengwe, who are the biggest legends. If you pick an all-time Chiefs team, they are starting.
Yeah, definitely.
Exner Tshilengwe is the best player from in South Africa.
Yeah.
He got rid of them. The supporters wanted to kill him. I think the next season he won 5 trophies. Because then he brought in, I don't know, Dr. Kamalo. No, he brought in Chipamala Teddy's, Trevor Mantakulu's. These were young, because they needed revival. Every team needs that. The job of a coach or a manager is not to coach the team, is to watch the team, to who is dropping the who is not training as the levels that they should train, who is not trying hard enough, who blah 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 blah. And every day, that's my job. Yes, besides all the coaching and tactics and blah blah blah, but every day I'm watching body language, I'm watching the desire to want to win. And and when I went to Chiefs, they said, yeah, we can. I said, I'm not going to say we need 12 out or something, but we need to bring in a few, changes. And then obviously the band was there, and then I was buggered. Yeah.
So then, with your technical team, were there any people that you were trying to bring along? Like, for example, maybe Paul, because you had
Paul was trying to, but obviously it couldn't work. But they obviously they liked Dylan because of what he did with the Disky. So I spoke to Dylan. I said, look, come across, and he came across, and that was it.
Yeah. So how did you find working then with that technical team?
Well, it's different at Chiefs because your staff is much bigger, and everybody is sort of needs to be satisfied to be doing something, isn't it? Where I've come from environments where it's been a coach and assistant coach and the physio and the goalkeeper, and that was it. Which I always find, I think staffs are far too overloaded these days.
I agree with you.
There's too many people adding 5 cents into a situation which doesn't require, and they will tell players what players want to hear, and you cannot have that. You need to have a situation whereby the coach needs to be, knows who, how, what. So. And it's all a lot of the modern day, clubs. So it's all good and well say, look at our club, we're very professional. We've got this, and all these positions. But really, you've got to be very careful what type of manager you bring in with that type of situation. Yeah. So obviously, all those people I inherited, So now we got to try and work, but that wasn't the problem.
Yeah.
That wasn't the problem. We've got no problem with that. The biggest problem is I felt that the team needed a change.
Yeah.
And the team. To do that, you've got to bring in. So I played a lot of the youngsters.
Yeah.
And what happened was we tried to go on all fronts, and we were doing well in Africa. First time to get into, first time to qualify, first time to get out of a group, and then obviously to get to. When I left, they fired me. I was in the semi-final.
Yeah.
Never. I don't think they can do that again.
Yeah. And you mentioned then the young players, and 2 particular young players stick out to me. That is Nkosi Mpilengqo and then Jabulo Blom. What about those 2 players that stands out for you?
So I get to Chiefs, and I see this boy Blom. I think he's got an engine. Very placid boy. Needs to change. He needs to change in his desire to want to win. And if you look at our midfield that we had at Chiefs, we had people that the legs are gone. To be fair, they were great servants to the club, but their legs are gone. That's why I had to take Parker and play him in midfield to give us more legs and more ability. And Blom came in, centre midfield. They told me he was a wing back, a right back, which is For me, no, he's a midfield player because he's got energy, he's got legs. He can. Modern midfield players, got to go box to box, and they got to close the space down both ways. So when the ball goes forward, closing the space. When the ball goes over their heads behind them, they got to get. So you need legs. And he can play a little bit.
And it's interesting you say that about Blom because. During this season, we have seen that at times he's played at right back, at times he's played in midfield.
They played him as a wing back in it.
And when he's played as a midfield, he's actually had 2 assists as well. And you mentioned how he's a player then who can do a bit of everything for you in the midfield.
So he's a player that you can sign 2 less players. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that goes near my thinking because I say, geez, we got a problem. He can play inside right in a 3.
Yeah.
He can play right wing back when you play 5.
Yeah.
He can play right back at a push, in a back 4.
Yeah.
But he can play in a double in a 6.
Double pivot. Yeah.
What is 6? Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So he can play 3-4 positions.
Yeah.
Now you're talking my language.
Yeah.
Now my eyes. Now I get a bit of it in my stomach. So when I saw him, he was perfect. The other one, he's got so much ability, but his biggest problem is his athleticism. Which is always going to be his big problem. He's got to get fitter, and I don't think he's got the capacity to get up and down the pitch. So you've got to try and use him in a way where you can get him closer to the goal, to make that final ball. That means you're going to have to change and rearrange your team a little bit. You're going to have to carry him a little bit, but he's got the pass. He's got the pass. He's got the quality. He's got that. Now, how do you? Like Shakes Mngwani. Shakes Mngwani, if you play 4-4-2 and you put him on the left, he's going to end up in the centre midfield because he can't defend, he's not going to run, he can't run. But to get him on a ball, he'll give you that pass. So, and Stuart's been good with him because he's trying to put him in the team, so that means you're going to have to change to a back 3. You can't play with a back 4 because then you're going to carry him. So with a back 3, you can overload a little bit behind a striker and play him in there, which is what they've done.
And when you look at that group of young players, then which player would you say is one that is destined to have a great career?
Well, I think Blom will go further because of his athleticism and I think because of his strength and his and he can play, and he's the type of player that will be a shoe-in every week. I call it, shoeing. Like you pick him and then you start picking the other ones. You know what I mean? I think he'll have a big. But there was other ones that obviously faded away since I left. There was a boy Daryl Macheke. There was a boy Lasaka, who was a winger. There was another one, the big boy at the back, the left foot, plays in the Diski. I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
So there was decent ones. The goalkeeper's not bad. So I just felt they need a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? And I always felt, going back to the regional statement I said to you earlier, there's too much, in my opinion, of players that are better in back 3s than in a back 4. So rather have a player that can play in a back 4 than play in a back 3. It's like centre midfield. Rather have a player that can play in a 2 than be in a 3. So you say Ngobo, he can't play in a double in a 2. Do you understand? Because loss of ball is a problem because he doesn't have that athleticism to get where you want him to go. If you're chasing the game, you might do it. But the point I'm trying to say is look for players that can play. So these wing backs, so that if they're going to be wing backs, are they a winger or are they a fullback? So I'd rather have somebody who's a fullback and get a winger than have somebody in between. So that goes back to what recruitment, it goes back to how you want to play, and that's where the coach and the person that does the recruitment's got to be on the same
level.
Because what happens nowadays, which happened to Sundowns, that's why Sundowns came right. Because Sundowns used to sign the best player. Oh, he played for Maritzburg. Oh, he's the best player. Okay, so where's he going to play? Where is he going to play in our team? So we sign the player. Where's he going to play? And Sundowns have got a tendency to do that a lot. Used to. And then Pitzer came in and said, right, I need a winger, I need this. Now we're signing more people. But they should just sign the best players and then try and put this whole puzzle together.
So you mentioned recruitment, which is something I'd like to touch on when it comes to Kaizer Chiefs. How do you feel they fare in that department? Do you feel like they've
I was there 8 months, 9 months. And I inherited. But I'll say this straight. There's players I would never have signed. I'm not. It's the truth. It's the truth. Why must I lie? And maybe they say, well, maybe I'm the coach. They shouldn't have signed. But I would never assign players. I don't think they've fitted into where the game. So I inherited a lot of the players from Steve's time, and I think Ernst came after Steve, and they didn't want wingers. So there was no real wide players. They played with the fullbacks, which is nothing. They went that way, and then Steve obviously lost his job, and then so they got all these fullbacks, but no wingers. So you take a boy like Zuma. Yeah, he's not a winger. He's not a. He's a bit in betweenish.
He's a bit of a sort of inside forward type.
Yeah. So when I get there's no left winger. There's no right winger, and I had the boy on the left, Happy Mashiani. So I made him like the left winger. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
So we made him play. Then we need someone to play on the right hand side a little bit more.
Yeah.
Manyama's not going to play. He's not going to run up there.
Yeah.
So now so when you build a team, shining a squad, you say, right, I think this is how I would build a squad.
Yeah.
1 right back, 4 centre backs, 2 left backs. Now you say, wow, right back. Because right back, you can always take centre back player, right?
Yeah.
2 left backs. This is my team.
Yeah.
4 centre midfield players, 2 wingers, 2 number 9s, and maybe 2 number 10s.
Yeah.
23 players and 3 goalkeepers. That's it.
That's it.
But now I've got everybody who they can play in a 3, they can play in a 2, they can play with a winger, they can play not. Now we've got players.
Yeah.
But when I got to Swallows, there was 40 players, 35 midfield players, 3 defenders, and 1 striker. I'm not joking. So now you say, okay, now let's play 4-4-2. You can't play 4-4-2. I'm just giving you basic.
Yeah.
We can't play 4-3-3. We can't because we don't have enough defenders.
Yeah.
So so that was the secret at Wits and Supersport. You work with the chairman. You say, right. He said, oh, they've got this good right back. I said, I don't need another right back. Yeah, but he's better. Okay, if he's better, then we've got to sell our right back then. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You can't have 2 right backs. We need 4 centre backs. And in the 4, we want 3 starters, and I want 1 young one.
Yeah.
So we build it. 2 left backs. Because left back's a very difficult position to play.
Yeah.
You need a left-footed player there. And that's how you build your team. What type of midfield players do you want? Do you want box to box? I like people can go up and down.
Yeah.
I can't have these ones. I'm a defensive midfield player. So what is that? Don't you attack? I'm an attacking midfield player, so don't you defend?
Yeah.
You've got to get up and down the pitch.
Yeah.
So now we look for those type of players. On the right, we want somebody who could cross over the ball, who can help us defend. This one is better in a 3 to leave him higher, and this one is better in a 2 to play in a tucked in. Do you understand? Yeah. Left wing, one can play higher, one can play tucked in. Yeah. If they can do both, like Dane, which was good at that, now you're in business.
Yeah. So then, why then does the decision come with regards to sacking you if you're doing well in CAF Champions?
Well, I was told. I won't say who the person was.
Yeah.
I was told we'd rather come 6th in the league and be knocked out first round of the Champions League. So I was said, well, then you got the wrong coach because there's no ambition.
Yeah.
I said, I can't go on 2 fronts here. We can't. We don't have the squad. We're playing Saturday in Guinea. We're arriving back here Monday, and we're playing Tuesday or Wednesday in Durban.
Yeah.
The squad is not. We can't do it. Either we go here, or we go there. And I saw a gap.
Yeah.
I saw a gap because I said the Champions League for me, African Champions League. The only thing is the tough is conditions, but it's overrated. The football's be with me.
Yeah.
So if you can handle all the nonsense that goes on, and you're strong mentally and all that, you'll be okay. Yeah. And your team doesn't have to be that decent.
Yeah.
But the football is not good. But I found we were better in the Champions League because we had players with no pace. So to slower the game.
Yeah.
So when you got to the PSL, because you know the PSL, the players run faster than the ball.
Very quick.
Where in the Champions League, the ball is moving. And we had a team with not much pace, and that's why we did better in the Champions League. I'm telling you, that's for me. I will argue with anybody in their face about that. It was 2 games to go. I was a bit taken back. We lost to Leopards, which was a bad defeat away. Yeah. And then that was the Wednesday, and the Thursday, it was gone.
So how do you handle that, coach? Because you're looking
I was disappointed because I was 2 games away of turning this thing around for next season.
Yes. Is there a feeling
listen, I'm very disappointed.
Yeah.
And obviously there in the camp there must have been for and there must have been against. And maybe there was more against.
Yeah.
But I just felt that and I don't care what anybody says. If you're winning every year, then I've got to know what your formula is.
Yeah.
But if you're not winning, 7, 8 years, we haven't won anything.
Yeah.
Surely we need to change something.
Something needs to change.
Something needs to change. You can change me, no problem. But you're going to have the same problems.
But you're going to keep.
This year you got the same problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing better in the league domestically.
Yeah.
Yes. But you're going to have the same problems.
Yeah. But then doesn't that feeling of it just let me finish my run in the CAF Champions
Yeah,
League,
but you see, once the owners or chairmen or they get a bee in their bonnet about things like that, you can't argue in that, you know. So listen, it is what it is. Wrong place, wrong time. I'm very disappointed because I felt that they never got the best of me.
Yeah.
Me, you know, they never got, and even though in the Champions Leagues we were going, you know, you know, and I just felt that. Yeah, it's sympathy. But you know what?
It is what it is.
Baxter went back. Ernst Middeldorp went back. You never know. You never know.
So, okay, Coach. Out of all the jobs you've taken, this next one, yeah, this was very surprising to me.
No, so obviously, you know, I was so disappointed. Yeah. I mean, my daughter said to me she's never seen me like that.
Yeah.
She said she's never ever seen me in all the years she never saw me as a player and that. So disappointed. I was gutted. You know, there's an English term, gutted. Yeah. I was drained. I was so disappointed because I just felt that they never got the best of me because the things didn't settle and it just took time. Anyway, and an opportunity came up, and I said, you know what? They've had 12 coaches in I don't know how many years.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. I said, you're not going to last. But you know what? Let me go smell some sea air. Yeah. And I had a chat to the guy, and I said to him, Chipper, and the only thing that disappointed me about Chipper, he never spoke to me.
Yeah.
He hasn't spoken to me today.
Yeah.
And you know,
sending you an email.
Under investigation, I'm suspended. Speak to me.
Yeah.
Speak to me. What don't you like? I'm not happy. I know you're not happy. We're not happy. You're not winning. And I told him from the start, it'll get worse before it gets better. When I left, they were not in the bottom two. Mm-mm. We were third bottom, fourth bottom. And the signs were there.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And the team that's playing now is pretty much the same, the shape and the balance. But certain things needed to happen. Mm. And that goes back to my previous club as well. You've got to allow the manager to fall on his own sword.
Yeah.
You know, by allowing, within reason. You know what I mean? I'm not being unreasonable to say, hey, this, that, you know, change. No, to be within certain, and then you fail. Okay, you know what I'm saying. We never at Chipper. We did well. We came in there. We did a pre-season. You know, it was good.
Started off pretty well.
Yeah, we were top of the league after 2 games. We had to trade duck and diving players, and obviously the financial problem is, you know, payment and that. Yeah. You know, so, but I just felt that I think, and I say this in all honesty, it's a club with the biggest potential in South Africa, and I will argue it's got the best facilities. It's in an area where there's the catchment area of supporters is huge. Yeah. They've got a beautiful stadium, fantastic club. You needed to just allow us to do your thing, and then we would have been fine. And I said to him, what do you want? No, we want to be safe. I said, we'll be safe. I will keep this team up. Yeah. Just you need to listen to what. Yeah. And what happened with us when I was there? We drew 0-0. We drew 0-0. We drew 0-0. And then we lost to Chiefs and Pirates. Yeah. 2 big hidings. But if you look at the Chiefs game, we lost 4-0. That game could have been 5-4 to us. Yeah. I mean, the chance, anyway. And I said, don't worry about those. That's not our league. We're in another league. Yeah. Let's compete with the ones around us, the Morokas. Let's beat them. If we beat them, we'll be fine. Yeah. And then we drew with Maritzburg. 0-0 home. Could have been 3-4-0, 5 minutes. Miss. And I signed Eva in Nanga. Yeah. And he never scored a goal in the 10 games I was there. As soon as I leave, he scores 9 goals in 10 games. So, you know, he phones me and thanks me, and you know, because I helped him, and I said to him it'll come, but obviously not knowing that I'm going to go on, you know, and it came, you know, so you'll be fine. Yeah,
Coach, I really enjoyed that, sort of going through the clubs, how you started, but. Before I do let you go, there are 2 segments I'm going to start with. The first segment is titled Coach's Corner. So with regards then to Coach's Corner, I'd like to have your top 5 best coaches of all time in South African football.
In South African football? Yes. Best coaches?
Yes, your top 5. You're allowed to put yourself in there.
No. From my playing days, I've got to say the biggest injustice that never happened, that he didn't get the South African job, was Budgie Byrne, who was my mentor, I played for all the years. Yeah. Nobody could touch him when it come to the game. You know, he would tell you, just play 5 meters in or play 5 meters wide or drop down here, and you would all of a sudden get in the ball. So he was obviously my, I would say, Joe Frickleton.
Yeah.
You know, he was from the old school, Highlands Park, the challenge, an unbelievable coach. I'm talking about my time.
Yeah, from your time, yeah.
I would say, I thought he was a fantastic coach. How many have I got? 5?
Yeah, 5.
Joe Frickleton definitely in there. I loved Eddie Lewis. I thought he was, fantastic. And I would say Eddie Gordon, Gordon Ingerson was good. Clive Barker's got to be in there because of what he's achieved. Nobody's going to achieve what he's achieved. Not in my to win the Nations Cup. I don't think we were close in '98. And I've got to say Pitso.
Yeah.
I've got to say Pitso. True story. Pitso came to me for a job at Hellenic to be my assistant coach.
Yeah.
And he spoke. My owners were Greek, and Pitso played in Greece.
Yeah.
And they had a meeting. I said, look, I'm fine. And then something happened. He got a job at Sundowns in the juniors. He coached the juniors.
Yeah.
I think he was still playing or just finished playing. And then
was that the one coach? Because when we look at the
rivalry.
Yes. The rivalry.
No, I would say Gordon and me were, because Gordon was because Pitso came in a few years after I'd started already.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at Swallows 2 years already, or 3 years, and obviously Hellenic and Black Leopards, and Pitso came in after then. But Gordon was my biggest rival because Gordon he was winning the leagues and he was the main guy. But then obviously, and then Pitso was, but then Pitso went to the national team, so he wasn't really in the league. So I was still with Gordon, was our biggest rivalry. But then Pitso obviously when he went to Sundowns, and then I was at Wits. So that 4 or 5 years, that was the big one because we were second, they were first, we were second, they were first, third, But I got a great respect for Pitso because it takes what he's done to go and get that opportunity and go live in a country like that. I mean, I'll go tomorrow, but to go and embrace. And I always say the thing about coaching is to embrace other cultures, and that's something that I envy Pitso because that's what when I left Wits, that's what I wanted to do is get another culture and get out of the league, PSL league. But there wasn't an opportunity, so I would say Pitso, Gordon, Clive, Budgie, Joe, Frickleton, was certainly people that Jeff Butler was good, very good with me. We had a lot of conversations. He was very successful at Kaizer Chiefs. The one I didn't get on with very well with Ted Dimitri. I always had big fights with him and big arguments with him about football because we had many touchline battles. Yeah. And I don't like that, because I find there's too much of that today where coaches complain about your team. Why are you kicking our players? I didn't tell them to kick each other. You can't worry about your team. I'll worry about my team. There's too much of that. And when a referee makes a bad decision, or a coach wanting your players to get booked or yellow carded, I don't like that.
I don't like that.
It's
not good for the game.
Or it's a blatant red card and the guy gives a yellow card and then there's a big hoo-ha and a commotion. So try and concentrate on your own team a little bit and stay away. The problem is when benches are close. They are a little bit further away now. But I hate it when the opposition score against you and the coach is making signs at you and I should have gone flatten him, you know what I mean?
I'll meet you in the parking lot.
I don't like that. I don't like that. But it is what it is, So
those are your top 5.
There's got to be respect amongst coaches. I don't think there's enough respect. I'm not talking about respect off the field. I'm talking about respect on the field. Off the field, you're all shaking hands and everybody's hugging each other, but more off the field, more on the field when the game is on.
Yeah. So we've seen the rise of co-coaches, which is something I don't believe in, and I don't like it at all. And the reason why I don't like it is because I feel it's important that we retain certain traditional nuances, like you had mentioned earlier on, with regards to just having it's your assistant, it's the goalkeeper coach, it's the physio, and that's the bench. That's it. So what is your take then on co-coaches?
It's totally against. But if you look at, I think football's going to go like American football. Where you're going to have all these coaches, and I feel that there's got to be more one voice than 3 or 4, 2 voices, and I think that's when you have players. You must remember players look for any avenue to make an excuse. That's what the player's about. It wasn't me, it was him. And players then start using members of the staff. Because the staff is too big. So the man in charge loses that little bit of control. Well, he likes me, but he doesn't like me. Well, so
it becomes a petty.
It becomes, and you find that. So Or out of the 3 or 4 coaches, I like him, but I don't like him, and I don't like him. So I think it's a very dangerous. I think it's working. Obviously, they're winning leagues and Sundowns, because you're talking about Sundowns.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, if they had less ability players or less ability a team, I don't think it could work.
Yes, because my question then becomes, what happens when the team starts doing badly?
But then it becomes in terms of the philosophy. Because every one of those guys will have a different thought about something. Now we need to get a result. It's not as though we're going to win anyway because they're going to win anyway because they've got the best players or best team. They've still got to do their work, which I'm sure they do behind the scenes, and I'm sure they've done well. But when you've got lesser ability players, the philosophy changes. Do we still play?
Yeah.
Do we go a bit longer? Do we make it a fight? Do we go direct? And one might be a different.
Yeah.
Do we hold the result now?
Yeah.
It's 0-0 with 10 minutes to go, or do we try and chase the result? With Sundowns, they can chase it because they've got the quality, and they normally win in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's where and when it does go a little bit, lose a bit, which it hasn't happened to them yet.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen? You know.
Yeah.
But right now they're flying. They'll say, "Oh, 3 brains are better than 1." But I feel when you're on the training ground, you need one voice.
Yeah.
On the training ground, you need one voice. Yes, you need your staff, and I've always felt I've generally liked to have older assistants.
Yeah.
So you say, what does that mean? Well, older assistants. Maybe when I get to age, I might need younger assistants. Like Alex Ferguson, he got younger assistants to do the training more, and he did less and less. But when you're still capable, like me, run around, you need older assistant because he can keep an eye on things, you know. And he's a little bit
that mature voice.
Yeah, he's a little bit quiet around the place, and he's not really there to try and make you out like you don't what you know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I had an old assistant, John Rowley, a Scotsman, who was a Scottish guy. He was much older than me, and he was brilliant with me. A qualified coach. He worked in the UEFA coach. He was a so he knew football. He knows the coaching, and he would just grab me by the arm, say, "Hey, easy, you know, and calm down, whatever, you know. The team is okay, blah 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 blah. You know, we're doing the right things. Just keep at it, you know." So that, and you also need that reassurance.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are. The Jose Mourinho's of the world, they come out with all the blah blah blah. But they always got reassurance behind them. Yeah. You know, and that's important.
They do.
Yeah, it's important.
And the last question I have for you in this segment, would you ever take the Bafana?
Yes. Oh, I've always said it.
Yeah.
People say, I do think Bafana, a national team is for an older guy. Because you're not working every day.
Yeah, I know.
You're becoming a selector. That's all you really do, because you're selecting players and you're looking at games and you watch. So you have them for 3 days and then you've got to train them. It's not really much training.
Yeah.
You put them in a structure, put them in a shape, how you want to play, what do you want to do with the ball, without the ball, and then try and go from there. And yes, I would love to. My greatest ambition would take a team to a World Cup.
Yeah.
And so I felt in 2010 there was a big opportunity. And we took Carlos Pereira and, you know, but we should have taken a local guy into the a local guy, take the team. I mean, a local guy, just to give him that experience.
Yeah.
Listen, we're never going to get out the group. By hook or by crook, and we could have got out the group.
Yeah.
Like Qatar, they're not going to win a game now, Qatar.
Yeah.
No chance.
Yeah.
You know, we beat France, you know, okay. But, you know, we drew with
we drew with Mexico in the first game.
And Uruguay.
And then Uruguay smashed us.
They beat us, yeah. But
I
would certainly like to do a national team one day, yeah. Be it here, be it somewhere.
Yeah, that would be really nice. I'd like to see you managing.
And you know, I think what the national team also needs is a little bit more honesty. I think that, you know, because most of the time they never worry about the starting 11, the national team. They always worry about the guys who are not playing.
Yeah.
Well, why is he not playing? Well, he's not flipping good enough.
Yeah.
Or he's not doing the business. That's why he's not in the starting 11. Or why didn't you pick so and so? Well, if you watch his club form, he's not doing enough.
Yeah.
And just be a little bit more forthright.
Yeah.
And then just talk to the player before and say, I didn't pick you. But you don't have to phone everybody.
Yeah.
But if you put it out there, listen, he's not working hard enough. I remember Stuart Baxter when he was a national team and he came to South Africa. We had a meeting. He called me up and he asked me about a player. I won't mention the player's name. Yeah. Everybody's telling me I should pick him. What do you think? I said, no chance. Are you mad? He says, well, why you say it like that? I said, watch him. He was on the right. Yeah. I said, watch him. See how many times he crosses the ball successfully and how many times there's an end product, or how many times it's a successful pass. Yeah. Anyway, he went back and a week later he phoned me, he says, you're right. I said, well, but the whole country wants him in the team.
Yeah.
I said, what does he do? There's no end product.
Yeah.
You run around, he does a few little jigs here and there. But what does he do? So, those type of things. But that's just a matter of opinion.
It
happens. It's not
happens. So definitely you take it if it came.
Yeah. I think you got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to have a go at it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a baton. Everybody hands it on, and
Yeah. So, coach,
you keep me here.
let's have a look at your best 11, and that's it.
Very difficult.
Best 11. That's the final segment of today's episode, and you can go. I need a formation. I need your captain.
Jeez, I've had some good ones, eh? I mean, I can say who I got on the best with, or who was good for me, or who did well for me.
Just your best 11. The guys you liked coaching, and some of the best players that you really enjoyed.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be players who were maybe successful, but just your best 11 from a personal perspective.
Yo. Let me start up front.
Okay.
Glenn Salmon, definitely. Benny. I mean, he's got to be. I mean, even though Benny wasn't with me a long time.
Yeah.
But I still feel he was the best.
Yeah.
Dane. Pelembe. It's not going in. Yeah. Here's the problem. Because I had some of the best, and I had some average and some very good ones. And I'd have to say, if it's just a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Oh, it's difficult. And Jabo Mendu. I loved him.
Yeah.
I thought he was a passer of the ball. He was control the game, and I mean, I've had some good ones. Brent Carlson, fantastic player, waste of talent. I'd have to say the best ones I've had is Morgan Gould.
Yeah.
I mean, he was solid as a rock.
Yeah.
I'd have to go Tyson. That's why I like him.
And
I've had Butle, I've had Mongani. I'd take Tyson. Yeah. Tyson and Morgan, they would score 6-7 goals each a season. They'd head the ball. They head the ball further than you and I could kick it. And they were tough, and they were demanding every week. I'd have to say, for a right back, the steadiest right back I had, Nazir Ali. Very steady. Very
consistent.
So, a right back, he should never give you 9 out of 10, and he must never give you 5 out of 10. He must give you 8 out of 10 every week. And he was an 8 out of 10 player every week. He never gave the ball away, never got beat 1v1.
Simple.
He's still playing at 37, by the way. How the hell he does it, I don't know. Left backs, I've had some good ones.
Yeah.
I mean, recently I've had, I've had some real good ones.
Shanti.
Yeah, he's got to be in there. But I think consistency-wise, I'd say David Cannemare. It's consistent. He's consistent. 8 out of 10. Yeah. Clanty would have 9 out of 10, and then
and then the next 3.
It's difficult. Goalkeeper, I've had Andre, I've had Dennis Oyanga, I've had Manip Josephs, fantastic goalkeeper. I've had Darren Keat. I had a guy at 7 stars, John Goodwin. Brilliant players. But I'd say for consistency wise, you got to go Andre. He was consistent. He's another guy. He's not going to give you a 4 out of 10. He's not going to give you 10 out of 10, but he'll give you 8 out of 10. And for me, consistency is the biggest problem in South African football. Yeah. So if you go through this team, a lot of consistency.
Who's the captain?
I wouldn't say Tyson, but Tyson led from how he played. He wasn't a verbal captain. I wouldn't say Morgan, because Morgan would kick the guy. It's a ridiculous guy. I wouldn't say Nazir. I wouldn't say David. I would say Jabo Mendu was my captain.
Yeah.
Because he could walk the talk and deliver.
Yeah.
But he was short 2-3 years like that.
Yeah.
But football intelligent, like I haven't seen many people like that before. And I've had Tabang Manari, who played last night, Ben Matswaris, I've had Shane Pockenpool, Kolum Malambo. I've had great, good centre midfield players. Yeah. People that could really, but he was Lebo Kakana, who had a fantastic, but Jabo, he's glue, man. He's just, he could play in modern day today. Not the best athlete, but never lost the ball. Got the ball in tight areas, hit a 40-yard pass, can play a 5-yard pass, could shoot, could
break
pass.
Lines.
And talk. Organize, pull people in. Fantastic. I mean, I could pick 11 that could beat this 11.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry if I left anybody out there. I mean, Anthony Lefort.
Yeah.
Match winner. Jabu Maleleka. Jabu Maleleka. Jeez, what a player, man. What a player. You know, so, yeah, Zongo's, I don't know. Sorry.
It's fine. I understand.
Sorry, guys, for anybody else.
Coach Gavin, thank you very much for your time. I truly appreciate this.
Anytime.
And I'm glad we're able to sit down and have a conversation, go down memory lane, and have a look at some of the best moments that defined your career. So thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you, my man.
I truly appreciate it.
So that's my first. Yeah. And actually, we used to play for 50 Rand a win and 25 Rand a draw. Yeah. And we made more money than my salary some months. 90 Rand first salary.
So Coach, definitely look forward to seeing you.
Thanks.
Back in.
I hope your show goes well.
Yeah.
So the sponsors out there, please support this man.
Yeah. So, Coach, are we seeing you DSTV Premiership next season?
I've been off since December.
Yeah.
My feet are itchy.
You want to get back?
I wake up 5 o'clock every morning. I'm going mad because I used to be at work by 6.
Yeah.
At wherever I worked in the gym or whatever I did there, so I'm missing it terribly. I miss the feel, the vibe. Monday to Friday, the Saturdays. A good result is okay. Bad result, it takes you a bit of time to get over. But I miss I like to see human beings improve. Yeah. That's more. I think we missed that a bit. I like to see human beings do well in their life after football, and they phone me up and we talk. I mean, there's so many people I talk to, and they're doing well, and their family's happy and everything. Yeah. So hopefully, we can make more better human beings.
So hopefully, we'll see you next season. Hope, Coach. Hope.
I just read newspaper. The media have got nothing to write about.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, my brother.
I appreciate it.
Good luck. I hope your show goes well.
Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to yet another special episode of Diski Talk with Luyolo. Signing out.